This tutorial is meant to assist students in locating their Canvas courses and then ways to use Canvas, sort of the basic functionalities. It's a primer meant for students who are not used to using Canvas at all, really. So we start here in the portal at my USF, and you go to Learning and Teaching Tools and then select the Canvas button. Now when you do that, Canvas will load into a new window and it'll look something like this. There'll be tiles for different courses, and you can actually drag the tiles around and switch the orders and those sorts of things. If you don't see the course that you need, or the course that you want, you might have to click on this Courses button, and you might even, if you've got a lot of courses, need to scroll down and select All Courses. Now when you do that, what will load is a page of all your other courses, and you can then find the one that you need. It should be alphabetical. And then I want to call your attention to this star outline here. If you put a mouse over to that star and then left click into it, it'll light up as a different color. And what that means is that the next time you go into the dashboard or next time you come into Canvas, you'll see it on that front page. You don't need to go into the All Courses area to understand what's going on. So I'm going to show you 3 different courses so you can understand that faculty have different ways of structuring their material and organizing and navigating the course. So this one, the Religion and Zombies class, has as its home page just recent activity. It might also be something like an empty modules page. So the faculty member hasn't decided to do much customization. It might look something like this. You see the navigation. In this case, they've left the grades visible. There's a syllabus button and then a button for files. And so this is a course where a faculty member is just using the files to organize things that you can then look at. So presumably you'd have to go look at the syllabus. The syllabus would tell you on certain days when you have to do certain readings, and then watch certain video lectures, and then take certain assignments and email them, or whatever it is. There are ways to do assignments on the side. This instructor has not turned on. But you see the logic of folders and subfolders, and it might not even look like this. There might be classes where instead of lectures and readings, the folders say things like week 9, week 10, week 11. Or there might be chapters, chapter 7, chapter 8, chapter 9. Or there might even be dates, April 14 and April 16, if the faculty member is trying to track what it would have been looked like as a face-to-face class, for instance. Now, I'm going to show you a different class here where on the home page there's an image but not much else below that, and we don't see files turned on, but we do see modules turned on. So when I click on the modules button, what is revealed here is something that looks a little bit like folders as well, actually. So there's one there for syllabus, and do you see how there's this little triangle here next to the week? So if I click that, I sort of open it up for view and I can see all the stuff that's inside. So in this case, the instructor has similar things. There's readings, there's videos, there's assignments, and you can tell by the icons what they all are, but they're organized under a week 9 principle. And again, this might be labeled different ways. It might be labeled by date, it might be labeled by chapter, that sort of thing. The idea is that you would work your way through all of these things until you're finished with that module by the due date. And in fact, when you are within the module, there's a button on the side to just go to the next module item. That might be an easier way to navigate around. Now, if you do have things turned on the side, like discussion boards or assignments or quizzes, you're going to need to click into those and see what's there. They don't light up or anything. There's no red number 1 next to it when there's a new item. You're just going to need to check on them and see if there's anything in those links. Okay, you might also see within these modules something like HTML pages or web pages, but so it's not a PDF exactly, but all of those are possible that you would see within a faculty member's organization. Now you are going to want to check the class frequently, and in fact if you're in a class that has something like announcements turned on, I think that's this one here. If you have announcements turned on, you're going to want to go in there frequently. Again, the new items won't necessarily light up there, but the faculty member will probably use announcements to communicate with the class pretty regularly. And in fact, it is advisable that you come to the Canvas course probably every day, and certainly not waiting until the end of the semester. So people say that online courses are quote-unquote asynchronous sometimes, but asynchronous does not mean that you can wait until the end of the semester and do all the work in the class. There are due dates within the semester, due dates within a week usually, and sometimes faculty members might even be deciding to keep the Tuesday, Thursday at 11 o'clock meeting schedule, in which case that class would be considered synchronous, just meeting online. So you really need to know exactly what it is your faculty member has in mind. Now, as I've told you, there are different places that you need to look to find the syllabus. One of them might be a folder within files called Syllabus. You might see the syllabus tool itself turned on, and it might be pasted on this page, or there might be a link to a document on this page, or as you see here, this is a button turned on, but there's no content in it. And so the faculty member just didn't remove the defaulted things that were turned on. They're using something like files in that case rather than the syllabus tool itself. The other option that you might see actually is that a syllabus would be linked directly from the course homepage. So this is a homepage. It's kind of a different way of organizing as well. There's no modules, there's no files, but you scroll down on the homepage, what you'll see is a little table that lists the dates and then things you're supposed to do as homework and then things we're going to talk about in class. And this can be a different way of organizing sort of that same information, right? You have to read certain things, perform certain tasks, and then take a quiz, etc., by a certain date. So in this particular class, the reason I came here to show you is that the syllabus is a link on this page rather than somewhere else, a tool on the side. So I'm talking about the syllabus so much because I think it's important for students to go into and look at the syllabus. If the syllabus has changed as the class moved online, you're really going to want to pay attention to what those changes are, and you're going to want to try to map out the major assignments and really create a time management plan for yourself. It can be too easy to just delay and procrastinate in online courses, and that really results in lower grades, and you want to avoid that at all costs. Okay, so let me switch back over to the Avengers class and go to the home page. Actually, I don't need to stay in the home page because I'm here to show you the Blackboard Collaborate link. So if your class is meeting synchronously, something like Blackboard Collaborate will probably be what they're using. It's a webinar/web conferencing platform in which the instructor can share slides on their screen, for instance. They might have a video of themselves. Students have the ability to electronically raise hands, click into a chat and ask questions, those sorts of things. It's also how many faculty will do office hours as well. So you need to understand how they might be doing that. Okay, switching classes one more time. I'm going to go back to the Harry Potter class and I'm going to look at one of the quizzes here. So this quiz it's already been taken, so it's showing certain answers and so forth. But when you go into a quiz that has not been taken, what you'll see, and I'll go ahead and try to do that actually. We go back to the home page and find a quiz that have not taken as a student before. Here we are. This one I think has not been taken as a student. You will see that there are certain parameters listed here, like when there's a due date, sometimes that's set, how many points, how many questions, if there's a time limit, those sorts of things. There's all sorts of restrictions that a faculty member could put on a quiz, like you can only see each question once, or there might be electronic proctoring going on. And so you should think about that and pay attention to it. The faculty member, if they're turning on the proctoring, will have a software that is looking at what's happening in the room as you're taking it. The software will flag it if you talk to other people. If your eyes move off to the side, the software will flag it, and the faculty member might look to see if you've been cheating. So you really do not want to do any cheating online. There are relatively sophisticated ways that these will be noticed. Okay, so let's switch back over to this class. I want to show you that there's a button called People sometimes. If you're put into groups, People is where you would go to access your group, and then once you're within the group, you would have new navigation, replacing all of these things with navigation for discussions and files and all of that. It's sort of specific just to that group. Okay, so I'm going to leave the student view momentarily here, and I'm going to click over to the calendar button as we do that. The calendar button is outside of the main course. In fact, everything over here on this outside strip is generic to you and your account. It's not specific to just one course. And so within the calendar, all of the due dates and assignments that the instructor has set as due dates would show up in this calendar here. Now, I'm not seeing any right here, but they would show up in different colors, as you can see over on the side. And this could be a useful way for you to check and remember when something is due. Big caveat here, though. Not every faculty member is using the calendar in this fashion. You might have to add things yourself, and you can do that with this plus sign over here. And if there's a course where a faculty member has due dates but hasn't put them into the calendar directly. And so I also want to mention that if there are things that a faculty member thinks should be turned on in the course, like let's say that an announcement comes and says, now go take this quiz, and you look and there's no quiz, email the instructor, because what might probably happen is the instructor created it and can see it on his or her side, but didn't publish it for the students. So emailing the instructor is something you're going to need to know how to do, and that's this button over here for inbox. Now, like the calendar, it's generic for all of my classes, and it's just an inbox system or an email system. To email your instructor, you go to this pencil icon here and select which course it is you're talking about, you're looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and select the, eventually I'm going to select, why is it not doing that? Avengers is the one that I want. And then the To button opens up, and when you click this item here, you can select of the teachers, and then select the name of the teacher, type your subject line, type your message, and then click send. So again, you're going to need to know how to email your faculty member. You're going to want to monitor the inbox with some regularity because the communication is going to be vital if classes have moved fully online. And that's it. Good luck, and contact IT's help desk if you have technical problems. Otherwise, contact your faculty member if you've got questions about the course or things are missing, etc.